Alright, that's Otc 660. Just wanted to do a toolbox tour with you guys. Got a snap-on triple bank toolbox, and it is a KTL1023 model. I really like the KTL series boxes. I think it's probably my favorite drawer layout. I got mine with a work top. You can see it's kind of a little cluttered, not too bad. But I like the work top. I mostly use it like an office, to be honest. Got a mini fridge, a little retro Frigidaire mini fridge. It's kind of neat. When it gets hot, it's kind of nice to have a cold drink. Water, not beer. Anyway, the KTL series box, you can see it's got 3 long drawers. You can configure it however you want to, but I'll show you how I like to configure my box. My large toolbox is that's where I keep stuff that I don't use on a daily basis. Everything that I use every day, all day, is in this roll cart over here, which I'll show you later. This is cranberry color with a blackout trim package with iso-ride casters. I really like the color. I got a really good deal on this box. It was new, but it was like a scratch and dent special, even though you can't see the scratches or the dents. So I guess background on me, I've been working on cars for about 15 years. I'm gonna turn this around so I can not just be a talking head, or now I can be a talking head. Anyway, I've been working on cars for about 15 years. ASC Master Certified. I run a small auto shop with my family, and so this is what I use and how I configure my toolbox. Obviously, time for us is really important. Time management. We have to try to be, as organized. I have to be as organized with my tools as possible because I go from job to job to job, and I don't have time to find tools or lose stuff. So I try to set my box up so that I can be efficient. So here's the box. In my top main long drawer, this is where I keep a lot of sockets, torque wrench. This is call it my high dollar torque wrench. This is a snap-on 1/2-inch drive. I think the spec's like 300 pounds on this torque wrench. It'll go from 0 to 300. I don't know why you would torque something, or maybe it's 25 to 300. If you're torquing something 25 foot-pounds with this, I don't know what you're torquing, but I'd go with a 3/8 drive. So this is a 1/2-inch drive model. The thing that I really like about this is that it will do angle torque. It saves the settings. It will tell you the count, the bolt count, as you torque each bolt. I've got a habit of marking my angle torque to yield stuff as I torque it. I mark it with a paint pen just to make sure that I don't miss anything. But having a counter is really nice, and not having to use a torque angle gauge like, see if I can, like this one. Not having to use that saves a lot of time. So not that there's anything wrong with this. I used this for years before I bought that torque wrench. So if you don't have the money to buy that, buy this. It'll serve you well for a long time. So anyway, this just makes things more convenient. Makes things go by quicker. I just bought some new extensions, some Gucci snap-on extensions. You'll find that I really like snap-on tools. I've got good reps, so they take care of me. I got some new 3/8 drive and 1/2-inch drive extensions that I just happen to have in this drawer right now. I've barely even used them. I think I've had them like a week. So going from I guess right to left, since that's where my video is pointed, I've got a set of gray pneumatic impact sockets, 1/2-inch drive. It's the full set. I want to say it goes up to like 30, well, whatever, 36 millimeter. Yeah. So these are all 12 point. And say, why do you have 12 point half-inch drive stuff? Well, sometimes you run into situations, especially as an independent mechanic, where you're going to need big 12 point stuff. And I got tired of having to stop and go get, you know, this or that socket size for a specific job, so I bought a set. Gray Pneumatic is great for the price. I've yet to break one. These are very lightly used at this point. Like I said, I don't use them very often, but when I need them, so I bought them. So I've got metric shallow and deep Gray Pneumatic half-inch drive 12-point set. In the back, I have a another set of. Actually, this is all part of the set. Yeah. So you'll see the set of Gray Pneumatics goes from 10 to 36. So this whole socket organizer's full all the way up to 27, and then it takes you up to 36. And it doesn't skip any sizes. So if you need a size in 12-point half-inch drive, I've got it. Next set, these are chrome snap-on 6-point half-inch drive sockets. You don't necessarily need these starting out. These are expensive. I have them because they're thinner walled. Sometimes you run into situations where you can't get your impact socket on a fastener because it's too thick. Well, that's why I have these, because you need half-inch drive, you need the power and the leverage, but you don't need the width of the impact socket. I've seen thin wall impact socket stuff. That's fine. That's just not what I chose to do. You know, I really like this socket set. They're lightly used. I use those with hand tools only. I don't put impacts on my chromes except for my 3/8 drive stuff, because sometimes you're just in a hurry and that's what you do. So yeah, 12 millimeter to 24 millimeter. Half-inch drive, snap-on chromes, short and deep. It's good quality. I know that if they break, my rep's going to be here every week to take care of it, so that's why I buy. 3/8 drive, again, 12-point stuff. I run into situations where I need 12-point, so I've got mostly a set. This one and this one are in my roll cart right now, but this is just a piece together set. So these are Craftsman. You don't always have to buy the best of the best to get the job done. These are old Craftsman. I've had them for a long time, and I actually just pieced them together out of spare sockets that I had lying around. So yeah, 3/8 drive 12-point set. And then 1/4-inch drive 12-point set, because sometimes you need it. Don't need it all the time, but when you need it and you're trying to get a job done, you gotta have it. So these are Capri tools. Like I said, you don't have to have the most expensive stuff to get the job done. I don't use these very much, and you know, they're holding up fine for what I need them for. It's 1/4-inch drive. You're not going to put a whole bunch of torque on these. Likelihood of you breaking them, so to me, seems pretty low. So you know, that one's actually sitting under a hood right now. But anyway, you know, the Capri tools, I got these on Amazon. It came with the organizer, and I mean, they're nice. They seem like good quality. You know, I don't know how porous the metal is under that shiny finish, but I haven't broken one yet, and I don't think I will. So you know, the only problem with this stuff is that if you break one, you're gonna have to buy another. It's not you know, not gonna be covered by the guy that stops by your shop every week. So but it's a good set for the money. I think it was like $28 or something. Next I've got Stubby 3/8 drive sockets. So this set goes from 8 to 18. Skips a few sizes. I got these like used bargain bin cheap stuff, because the ratchet, there's a corresponding ratchet that goes with these. It just lets you have more clearance, so you still get the leverage of a 3/8 drive, but greater clearance between, you know, like a firewall and a fastener, or a pulley and a fastener, or something like that. So one cool thing that I did find out is that, let's see if I got it in here, yeah. I've got a little quarter drive snap-on in 3/8. I kind of just bought it to see how much I would use it, and I love this thing. I've used it a lot more than I expected, but the head kit that they use in this ratchet, and this ratchet is FCF72 is the part number. The head kit on this ratchet works perfectly with these little 3/8 drive sockets. So if you need an 18, and I don't have any quarter drives in an 18, but if you need an 18 and you need space, it's a pretty tight little package for a ratchet, you know, so that's what it is. Set that back later. I've got some quarter drive swivels. These are Gear Wrench brand. They're holding up okay. They're not great, they're not bad. They're cheap and they work. Don't use them a whole lot, so they're holding up for what I need them for. E-Torx. If you're working on European stuff, or you know, whatever, you're gonna need E-Torx. These are Lyle. They work good. Haven't broken one yet. These are Lyle star bits. This is I've had this set forever. Or Torx bits. So Torx. They're okay. They round off. They break. That one is, you know, a prime example. It's missing because it broke. I've got them still in my box because I have them. They're good to have as spares, but I don't use them very much anymore. So they just they tend to round off. The metal is, I guess, that makes it kind of soft. So I have had issues with those. But I mean, for 28 bucks, I think it's what they generally run. If you need a set, there they are. You know. So I've got some big sockets back there in the back. Most of that stuff is stuff that I have gotten used. Every now and then you'll use something that big. Honestly, I use this as a press tool. So it just works. You know, it came with a bunch of used stuff that I got, so I've got them. Alright, so the left side of my box is mostly standard sizes. So I've got 1/2-inch drive, standard stuff. Some of it's out right now in, you know, working, I guess you could say. These are Cobalt. Not a big expenditure there. Cobalt sockets. The impact sockets have held up real well for me. Haven't broken one. And I choose to kind of cheap out on these standard impacts because I don't use standard all the time. But you know, I do need them. I've got a set of snap-on, shallow and deep standard sockets. These are I think they call it an FDX, so it's got like a tapered socket, or yeah, tapered socket. The area that holds the nut or bolt head is tapered. So if you have a rusty fastener, it grips it tighter, and it makes it easier to get out. So you can use it on a regular fastener or a rusted fastener. Some fasteners are rusty, you might have to tap them on, but you know, I have yet to round off a nut or a bolt on a classic car with these, and that's why I bought them. 12-point standard socket, deep set. These are Gear Wrench. Sometimes you run like ARP stuff where like 1/2-inch ARP where you need the 1/2-inch drive, 1/2-inch 3/8 drive socket, 12-point to do it. So you know, that's why I've got those. They're fine. They're cheap. They work. Gear Wrench brand's good stuff for the most part. Got a set of quarter drive standards in 6-point and 12-point. Again with Capri tools for the 12-point. I haven't used them a lot, but it's a nice little set. Like I said, I think it was like 20 or 30 bucks, whatever. Snap-on I've got for my 6-points because I like it, and it's American made, so that's why I bought those. Kind of a splurge there, I guess. Spend a little extra. I do use these a pretty good bit, actually. Usually when I have a classic car to work on, like this Thunderbird over here, I will carry this stuff and put it in my roll cart and then take it to the job. This box doesn't roll. This box, I mean, it rolls, but it doesn't leave its spot. It's stationary. It's too big to get around the shop. So anyway, Allen keys, hex heads, whatever you want to call it. I've got a set of snap-on. I bought these because they don't break easily. And actually, this is not broken. This is modified. So yes, I did modify an expensive snap-on hex socket because I needed something to fit up into my Mustang to tighten the diff bolts. I used a Lethal Performance diff bolt kit, and got to have something to fit in that hex head, so you need something that is nice and trim to do the job. So I took a belt tool, old Craftsman belt tool, and cut the drive head off of it and welded this on. I used this because I know it's really good steel and it's not going to break off in my fastener up in the chassis of my car and cause me a headache. So that's why I have that. Matco Stubby hex heads. These come in really handy. I've got metric and standard. I bought them as a set. They are Matco branded. I think Gear Wrench makes these. I'm not sure, but you know, you have a Matco truck and the Matco man will take care of it if it breaks. So it's, you know, that's why I didn't buy Gear Wrench for those. Got some deep E-Torques, small stuff. I do use these from time to time. Little set comes in handy. These are again Matco branded. I think Gear Wrench makes them, but I haven't had any issues with them. And so yeah. Snap-on adapter set, good quality, solid. You know, that's why I bought them. So sometimes you need the stuff. All right, on the next drawer. You're probably getting tired of hearing me talk about that drawer. Wrench drawer. Got Gear Wrench in here. I've got some Snap-on. I'm using these, I can't remember what they call these. These are stand-up wrench racks. There's several YouTube reviewers that go over these in detail, and that kind of pushed me to buy these for my box, and I love them. So got a couple of specially made wrenches in here for different jobs. Wrench extender comes in handy. I've got the Mueller wrench extender. Crow's feet, sometimes you got to have them, you know, not just around your eyes, right? Big wrenches, I think my largest wrench is 32 millimeters, I think. I've been meaning to get a 36 for Harley Davidson rear axle nuts, but I haven't done it yet. I'm using a socket. So, and a couple of adjustable wrenches. These come in handy. Old Channel Lock brand. It's kind of cool because you can pull these all the way out and flip them around and swap them, and you get a like a gripped clamping surface. I haven't used it yet, but you know, if you had like a pipe, I don't know, a tie rod in or something that was super rusty and you needed to round it off and you needed to grip it with something, I guess you could theoretically use that. Haven't tried it yet. I may try it, you know, next time around. Plier drawer. So the theme with the long drawers, you know, socket stuff, wrenches, pliers, all in one, you know, neat, easily organizable area. So I got snap ring pliers, Nipix brand, cutters, vice grip set, big adjustable channel locks. These are good for checking stuff in suspension if you need to get a hold of something like, you know, I don't know, tie rod end or something. It works great, so you know, whatever you're going to wind up using it for. Some welding clamps. I've I've got a few specialty tools up here. I got my vacuum gauge kit, transmission oil pressure gauge kit, an engine oil pressure gauge kit, and a compression tester. I just got tired of going all the way to the back of the shop to get our shop tools, and it was costing me time since I'm all the way up here in the front bay, so I bought my own. And I think all technicians, these are like basic gauge, gauges that technicians should have. If you're an auto tech, you need to have this stuff. So especially if you're working for independent, if the independent supplies it, that's fine, but if you've got it yourself, you know where the parts are, you know what the quality of the tool is, and have it right there in your box. So this one's kind of like a money drawer. So there's a lot of snap-on in here. Snap-on deep and medium metric swivels. Snap-on shallow metric swivels. Some of these are not used, like this one I haven't used yet, the 18. I try to keep them wiped down and oiled because they will rust. Not bad, it's not like a defect or anything, it's just the way it is, black oxide. Little quarter drive impact swivels. These are great, super handy, and they're a lot stronger than your standard universal joint sockets, and they don't bind. I mean, they do bind if you make it bind, but I mean, realistically, they don't bind like the others do. So I like them. These are expensive. These are snap-on long Torx. I bought these after some cheap ones that I had broke. One of them, the head broke off down in a fastener and got stuck, and I had to drill it out, and that was a nightmare. It cost me a lot of time. So never again I buy quality Torx at this point. You don't need to start out putting money in this. They make a really nice Blue Point set of Torx and hex stuff that if I was just starting out I'd probably buy, but at this point I can do that, so I did. Ball Allen, deep ball Allen stuff, you use it every now and then. It's not a regular thing. I got a little bit of use on that. This is 4 to 10. I've got a standard set too. It was a BOGO deal. That's at home. I was working on my bike this weekend, so those are at home. Don't use them very much. These are triple squares. So some Euro stuff uses triple square. I've got to have it, so I've got it. Electrical drawer. Jesus. This is the most unorganized drawer that I've got, I think. There's no way to make this drawer look good. I've got test leads that I've made. My meter, I blew some fuses in my meter. I've got a Fluke 88. I was doing an amp test and I blew a fuse in it, so that's why it's out of its case. But yeah, there's no way for me to make this look good. But wire strippers, power probe. I've still got the old Power Probe 3. It's doing great. It's a great tool to have. Good for electrical diagnostics. And if you know what you're doing, don't apply power to a circuit in the wrong way. Got some relay test kits here, and I have a relay tester that is really handy. You can plug a relay into this tester and cycle it. You can see where you plug a relay. Obviously, it doesn't do all relays, but I mean, a good. It covers a pretty good range of what you're going to see, and I've used that several times to prove out bad relays, and it just helps you with your diagnostics. A good way to tell something for sure, I guess. All right, thermometer, infrared thermometer, Master Cool brand. It's great. It's fine. It does a good job. Snap-on borescope. I actually got this with the purchase of my toolbox. I got him to throw it in. It's like $600. Very clear video. I've had cheap ones. The video quality is not as clear. Like I can look down into a cylinder and really see, you know, the top of the piston, any kind of marks or even faint marks with this thing. I really like it. So Fluke insulation tester, you don't really need that. The only reason I got it is for working on hybrids. You can test cables and stuff like that with it. And honestly, I went to the class, I used it for the class, and I haven't had the opportunity to really put that one into practice yet. Battery tester, I've got my own. The shop has one too. I just have one to save myself time walking to go get it. Yeah. So I know it sounds kind of stupid, right? Saving time walking. I don't want to walk to go get it. You know, well, when you walk to go get something 10 or 20 times a week, and you walk, you know, from here to the other side of the shop and back or whatever, and then you have to go looking for it because another technician used it and didn't put it back or something, it's a lot of time spent when all you're trying to do is test a battery. So that's why I've got it. This is a good old Harbor Freight purchase. Driver kit. Cheap, effective. I've used it for years. Great Harbor Freight purchase. So back here I've got a brake tool for your rear caliper. Ones that have the parking brake integrated into the caliper. That's what you need that for. And I've used it a few times. We don't see that many of those come around anymore. But the shop's got one. I've got one because I don't want to walk to go get it. The bottom drawer. This is like the abyss drawer. It's take your pick. It's bulky stuff that I, you know, had to have a place to put it. I've got some specialty tools that I've kind of made. These Ford 3-valve spring compressors. I've got one for regular, you know, like doing a regular job on a stock job, and then I've got one that I modified for use with larger cams. I did a cam swap on a Mustang a little while back, and the regular standard tool wouldn't work with the larger lobes and the larger cam core diameter. So wound up making a tool to fit. So I've got some LS stuff in here, like cover alignment stuff. Universal inner CV joint puller. Haven't used that yet. Just got it like a day ago. Still in the box. The next hard to pop out CV joint I have is going to get that treatment. So you put it on the end of a slide hammer, put it back behind the joint and pop it out, and it just saves you a lot of prying. And up here is my junk drawer. Paperwork, admin, stuff, spare clips. You're gonna get this stuff, you're gonna need it. Like I always keep these if some come in like a fuel pump or fuel filter kit. If it gets new ones, put the new ones in. Keep the old ones, because you never know when one of these is going to break when you're in the middle of a job or something. It's a good spare part, I guess you could say. So I also keep, and this is my last one, so it's not like a great example, but I try to keep key fob batteries. Sometimes your customers will come in and their key fob is not working. If you've got some batteries on hand, you can fix that up for them real quick. That's a good value for your customer right there, to get that taken care of if they don't feel comfortable doing it themselves. So I've already kind of seen this drawer. I don't generally keep paperwork in here, just kind of overflow. But I keep spare extensions in here, stuff that I don't use all the time. I've got a reducing extension for transmission work from 1/2 inch to 3/8. This is a cool little ratchet. It is snap-on, 1/4 inch drive, long ratchet with my favorite color, red handle. I love the red handle, hard handle stuff. I don't know why. it's just my thing, I guess. So this was almost like a hobby buy, but I've wound up using it in a lot of situations where you need the extra length, but you need a slim profile. Super handy. Don't use it all the time, but just a cool tool to, you know, if I was just starting out, I wouldn't go rush out and buy that, but you know, if you want it, get it, you know. 3/8 drive, long flex head, comfort grip, locking. That's come in handy. So sometimes I like to use a locking ratchet. So you just, guys that don't know, I guess, you press the button and it releases your lock ball right there. Most of them just snap on. This, once you put it on there, if it's in the D10 on the socket, it's not going to come off. It's not going to slip off on you. So I like that. Cornwell, I've got a Cornwell ratchet I bought on special. We got a good Cornwell rep here too. Long 3/8 drive, fixed head. Just comes in handy to have. Sometimes you need it, you know. So, locking extensions, God yes. So these are I've got a set of Snap-on and a set of Cornwell locking extensions. These things are great because every now and then you'll be doing something way in the back or bottom of an engine compartment or something, your socket comes off the extension and you can't find it. And if it's a swivel socket, like some of those Snap-ons in that drawer, you're going to spend like 30 or 40 bucks to get it back. Well, if you're a commission tech and it was a 2-hour job, you're going to spend either everything you made on that job or almost everything you made on that job replacing the socket that you now can't find. So if you think you're going to lose your socket, put it on a locking extension if you got the clearance. Snap-on's good quality. Cornwell's good quality. I have both. I've proven both. They work great. I would say the Snap-on's probably a little bit lower profile in the 3/8 drive version, but I chose Cornwell because they were running a sale and I like my Cornwell rep. So, oh yeah, little Matco 88 1/4" drive, slim ratchet. Matco's ratchet profile is thinner than Snap-ons and Cornwells and Macs from what I can see. And they're good quality, nice thin head ratchet if you need the space and the length. This is like an engine building drawer slash first aid station. I've got clay in here for checking piston to valve clearance. It's just one way you can check it. Just spare stuff. I've got some lifters that I've made into solid lifters for LS for taking measurements. There's feeler gauges, calculator which should be up here. I don't know why it's in there. Sometimes I toss things when I'm in a hurry. Feeler gauges. Brake drum and caliper, or it's brake drum gauge right here. Don't use it much, but sometimes you do. If you're going to turn a drum or something, you need to measure it. This is a dial caliper on a stand, so you can check a run out with it on different components. I've got a couple of dial calipers. These are my cheapos, all trade. I think these probably came from Harbor Freight or somewhere. I've had these for a really long time. They measure fine. If I'm just trying to get some rough idea of a measurement, I'll use these. And then if I'm doing something inside of an engine or something that requires tight, really well measured tolerances, then I pull up my Starrett. I've got a nice Starrett dial caliper in there that I know and trust. So extra paint pins in the back. Let's see, got a couple of, it's kind of neat. So these are where I clayed a cylinder. So this is like an old school way of checking piston to valve clearance. So when you take the measurement, you'll compress the clay in there and then pull the head back off, pull it out, and then you measure the thickness of the clay to determine your piston to valve clearance. It's kind of an old school method, but it's tried and true. So. This is another kind of messy drawer. I've got miscellaneous specialty tools in here. Sleeves for installing pistons, piston ring compression sleeves. A couple transmission tools for 4L60E. I don't really build transmissions. I got those for a personal project. Cleaner, brush, it goes in this kit. Caps for testing, you know. If you're using a smoke machine or something, these are good to have. Cap off stuff. Quick little code reader if you're trying to just clear some codes. Or I really use this mostly to check readiness monitors on cars before inspections. So it's a really quick way to just tell if the car's ready for inspection or not. Got some old keys for an old snap-on scanner we've got. Sometimes you got to pull this out on the old 90s stuff that we see sometimes. And then some trim tools. These are the Matco branded. They work fine. Hadn't had any issues with them. Nothing exciting about that. Alright, I got some different stuff in here. Here's mostly like my Allen key drawer. My standards are out right now at home with my motorcycle. But yeah, just random stuff. You can use this to low pressure back flush things, like a heater core. Yeah, I've used that to back flush a lot of heater cores. This is kind of neat. It's like valve lapping compound. It's called Get a Grip. And it's like a gritty substance, a gritty paste. You can dip the tip of a screwdriver in it if you're having trouble getting the screwdriver to stay in the slot, or if the slot's a little rounded out or something. Take and put a little bit of this on your screwdriver, and it surprised the crap out of me because it really does work. I'll have a screwdriver slipping out of a partially screwed up screw, and put a little bit of this on there and I can get it out. So just provides you with a little bit of extra grip, you know. So there's that. Puller drawer, lots of pullers. Harmonic balancer puller kit from Lyle. I use it a lot. Good quality kit. I've got some El Cheapo Otc Jaw Pullers. They're Taiwan, but they work. I mean, the only thing I will say about the cheap pullers, as opposed to yours like snap-on. So if I could, I'd have a set of snap-on pullers, but it's just a little bit outside of what I want to spend right now. And these get the job done. These edges tend to round off. The metal's softer, they're not as precise, and so, you know, if you're looking to get that last little bit of, you need that hard edge, sharp, hard edge right there, you're not going to get it with the OTC stuff. It works fine, but you know, there's a reason why it's cheaper. You know. I've got a snap-on pilot bearing puller. Now this is an example of snap-on warranty right here. This thing survived all kinds of years and years, decades of use prior to my coming into possession of it. And the end of it, the puller portion, was screwed up, and they warrantied it out, no questions asked, all brand new. So that's can't beat that, man. I mean, all right, down here, specialty stuff, you know, Mighty Vac, vacuum gauge, 3/4 gun, Ingersoll Rand. I got a 1-inch Ingersoll Rand gun as well. Those are the they're really shop tools, but I keep them over here just to keep up with them. You know, so just random stuff in here. Cylinder leak down tester. If you're putting salvage yard engines in cars, you need this. Before you put that motor in, you better do a leak down test. If you're smart, you do a leak down test. Because you don't want to put an engine in that somebody promised you was going to work, and then come to find out, you know, it's got a stuck valve or something at, you know, 60% leak down, and you're going to install a misfiring engine right off the bat. Always do a leak down test. Things that cut drawer. comically large shears. Yeah, I don't use these things much. I mean, I just have them to have them in case I need a pair of scissors. Files, cut off wheels, you know, nothing real exciting in here. Carbide burrs for cutting. So this is the cut drawer, I guess. Supply drawer. This one's a little sparse. I want to get a good air hammer. I don't have a good air hammer. Need to get one, and this is where it's going to go when I do get it. I've got this little kit for from OTC for doing brakes. So this fits onto a little attachment on a drill, fits down over your wheel stud, and you can surface the hub, clean the rust off of it. And I kind of go an extra step with this too. I do the around the lug nuts, and then I also will sand or take a sanding disc to the rest of the hub to make sure it's rust free before I put the brakes back together. Make sure that you're getting the wheels torqued back down properly, that your rotor is going to be running true, because if you install a rotor and a wheel over rust, that's not a level surface. A lot of mechanics make that mistake, especially your quick and dirty guys. They don't go the extra mile, so you really have to do that. Get your hubs clean before you remount that brake and tire package. So, C-clamps, punches, chisels. Mayhew is the sets that I went with. These are US made. They're strong, they're good quality, I like them. Bought these on I think Amazon, to be honest. So I've got a Mayhew brass punch set too. If you don't want to mar something or don't want to make sparks, you need to use brass. So this is like a long bearing race punch set. It comes in handy. I've used it a few times. So it was like a BOGO deal. You bought that, get that free. Pretty sweet. This is the oh crap drawer. Try to keep my language clean. So tap and die sets and helicoil kits. A lot of times, you know, we'll get something where someone may have already been there, done that, and stripped it out. So you're gonna have to fix those threads, do a proper repair. Of course, you know I've stripped stuff out too, so it happens. But you got to have the tools to fix it. So, Lyle tap socket set, good quality, good deal for the money. Lyle tap sockets, US made. I modified that one to fit into a tighter space, but yeah, it's good for the money. I got some random drill bits, Erwin, DeWalt, Milwaukee. Then I've got an Erwin Master Bit Set. That sucker's not cheap, but it's got pretty much any size you're going to run into in automotive. Left-handed extractor set. You do not have to buy, you know, it's like a Snap-on or Mac set. Hanson makes a lot of those sets. I can't say for certain who they make, but I mean, the quality of the Hanson extractor set's been real good for me. So, Erwin standard tap and die, and this is a swap meet find. Snap-on tap and die set for metric, and when it says there's a difference, I'm here to tell you there is a difference. These taps and dies cut really well, and they don't wear as quickly. They're really precise. There was a while where I thought Hanson or Erwin might make this set, and they may, but there's, you know, a difference between the quality of these two sets. I can tell you that from use and from, you know, just looking at them. This set here, big gray box, right? That set saved my bacon a few times. That is a big, the like jumbo tap and die set from Harbor Freight. All right, that whole kit was like 80 bucks. They are usable. They work fine. And if you need to fix the threads on a larger fastener, you cannot beat that for the price. So I'm not sure what all sizes there. I don't know if you guys care or not, or if anybody's even watching this, but I'll just open it up and show you. Well, if I can get enough space without pulling it out of the box, I'll open it up and show you. How's that? So, large taps, they go up to 24 millimeter by 1.5 and 24 by 3. Got your dies up there at the top. For the money, this set can't be beat. And if you're buying your own taps and dies and you think, well, maybe I need to, I want to try to have as much of a complete set as I can get, you cannot go wrong with if you need big taps and dies, getting those. If you just use them with hand tools. Don't put too much pressure on me. I wouldn't want to break one off and something, but you kind of have to have a feel for it when you're using a tap. But that is a good set for the money. The Harbor Freight Jumbo set. So I think I covered everything in the box. Let's do the switcheroo because I suck with the camera. So I guess on top of the box you're going to see my Alltel Max Assist. I use that. It's pretty good. I would prefer to have the new Snap-on model. I feel like it does a lot more. It has it's just better. I don't know how to say it. But you pay for it, That was a lot less expensive, so that's why I have it, and it does the job. Laptop, yeah, you're gonna need a laptop because you're looking up labor times, torque specs, procedures if you don't know. I know I keep looking over here at myself. Whatever. Procedures if you're not familiar with something. Wiring diagrams. If you do electrical work, you need a laptop. Look up your wiring diagrams. Don't guess at the stuff. It's just pull up a diagram. So that's what is on top of my box, and it's kind of a mess. But got chargers and junk, whatever. So that is my toolbox. And yeah, this toolbox is like 1.5 years, 2 years old. Before I had this, I had a 30-year-old Snap-on double bank box that I had forever, and it was fine until I started getting more tools. And stacking tools on top of tools isn't efficient. Then you gotta go find what you need. So decided it was time to upgrade. So I'll probably do another video because this one's getting like really long-winded, and do my roll cart, do a roll cart tour. So maybe show you a few things we're working on here. We've got a Thunderbird with a Y block V8. It's currently sitting on a stand over there. Doing an engine and transmission reseal on that, and grinding the valves, or well, put new valves in it, and fixing a leak down issue that he was having. He was losing compression out of the valves. I've got the engine out of this CTSV. This big engine compartment there. This is a 2004 model CTSV. Changed the engine, put a supercharger kit on it, doing a rear diff upgrade. It's going to be awesome. So it's a big job. But yeah, so we also work on work vans, fleets. We got several fleets of vans. We got a alignment machine back there. Maybe I can go over some shop tools at some point. Yeah, maybe I can go over some shop tools at some point, and talk about what you need, and things that are like a luxury option or something that you might want after you've been doing it for a while, stuff like that. If somebody asks me to make a video, because I know a lot of guys, mechanics, are making videos about what tools you need to start out with and what you don't, I might do a video like that sometime if anybody wants me to, because I've got my own perspectives on what you should start out with and stuff like that. I basically grew up in this business, so I've known a lot of mechanics and seen a lot of different ways of doing things. So. Especially when it comes to tools. So anyway, I appreciate the time. Thanks for watching my video.